I'm Jules from Fast Car Entertainment, and today I'm here at Monster HQ with some very important and special guests, all the female athletes. So you've all come from different parts of the world. So what I'm going to do today is just talk about what sort of disciplines you're in, how you got there, what got you into them, and what you've got planned for next year, really. So maybe if I start to my left. So would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, my name is Jndia Erbacher. I'm from Switzerland and I'm a drag racer.
Right.
We're running a top fuel car, which is obviously one of the fastest cars
In the world.
Yeah.
And so do you actually drive them, or do you build them, or do you do a bit of both?
Well, drag racing is kind of, you can't just buy a top fuel car, so we build the cars by yourself. It's me, my dad, and especially the team. I have a team, a crew out of 10 guys that are working on the car, and over the winter time we're just building up the cars and everything. So we build them, we service them, we drive them, we tune them.
Break them.
Yeah, we break them sometimes.
And so the sort of power on these cars is huge, isn't it? So
Yeah, we have up to 11,000 horsepower. And like the top speed that I had with the European record was 318 miles per hour
in a quarter of a mile.
in 1,000 feet. So yeah, pretty fast.
Blimey. That is very fast.
Yeah.
And then Tessa,
Hello.
you've come the least distance.
Yes, just down the road from Worcestershire,
That's it.
and I am a competitive drift driver. And yeah, I have a Nissan Skyline R33, but with a Toyota Heart and a 1JZ engine that's running about 540 brake horsepower. And yeah, I travel all over the world
Yeah.
drifting.
We've seen you at a couple of our events, haven't we?
Yes,
Hopefully
indeed.
we'll see you at a few more
Fingers crossed,
next year.
for sure.
And then moving across the table.
So, hi.
Hello.
My name is Stacey-Lee May. I'm from South Africa. I do drifting, spinning, and stunt driving. I started spinning when I was 16. And yeah, I've just been moving on up.
In the UK, spinning is probably, most people associate that with people getting on a bike and going mad in the gym. So could you explain what that is to our audience?
So, spinning is similar to drifting. It's a sister sport to drifting, but it's organized chaos, if that makes sense. So you get your normal donuts, figure eights, power slides, drifts, and you also get stunts in spinning, like jumping out of the car, hanging around the car, running over the car. Yeah, different, like I said, organized chaos.
And what car do you use to?
I have an E30, BMW E30 325, black bumper. It's a really small car. Pedals are close together and it's easy to throw around. Just recently upgraded to a Toyota Heart. So I have the Lexus V8 non-VVTi.
Nice.
So yeah, moving on up.
Amazing.
And then Sara,
Yes,
you're from Sweden?
I'm from Sweden, that's correct. And I stunt motorcycles, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Currently, I'm riding two different bikes, which is far off from each other. One is a supermoto, which is pretty much a dirt bike with straight tires. And I don't think I ever ride that bike on more than one wheel. And I also have a Harley Davidson that I recently started stunting on also. So that thing also goes on one wheel.
Oh, okay, yeah, so two completely different types of bikes.
Yeah.
So on the monster side of things, how long have you been a monster athlete?
I have been working with Monster since 2017.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so pretty long now. So yeah, it's cool to work with them.
Yeah, and is it the first time no, it's not. You've been to the UK many times.
I have been several times to the UK, but it's the first time that we are in the headquarters of, or I am in the headquarters of Monster Energy.
Yeah.
So I have been traveling around the racetracks with Monster, and yeah.
And then up to Centre Pod.
And up to Centre Pod, yeah, our main track in the UK.
Yeah, okay. What about yourself, Tessa?
I would say 2018 that I've been with Monster. That's my journey when that started.
Yeah.
It's been good.
It's been good.
Very good, yeah.
So I've been with Monster since 2019. Actually got hold of Monster through Gymkhana Grid in South Africa when I met Tessa for
Yes.
the first time.
Yeah.
So Gymkhana Grid came to South Africa, and I literally begged, like, just give me 5 seconds on the track. Let me just show everybody what I can do. And Monster noticed, and yeah, we've been together ever since.
Ah, there we go.
Awesome.
What about yourself?
I would say I'm the newest one then. I've been working with Monster for a year now. A little bit on and off, like with the Swedish Monster part, but this year I signed like internationally with Monster.
Ah, brilliant. And how are you finding it?
Super
Be careful
cool.
what you say.
No, it's super cool. Like, we've been already up to so many cool projects, and there's way more to come. So I'm really excited to be part of the family.
Ah. And then, so going right back to the roots, have you always been into, has petrol always been into your veins? Or what was there, what spark made you get into what you do?
Well, so basically I grew up with the racing. My father is doing it since 35 years, and I have been at the racetrack the first time when I was 3 weeks old.
Right, okay.
So I got it in my veins, but I didn't race until I was 18. I was show jumping with horses, and so completely different from 1 horsepower to 11,000. So yeah, my mom wanted me to have education first, and so I slowly got into it and made my way into the racing.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. Tessa?
I've kind of always been into cars, but it's more off-roaders really, and more farm vehicles and stuff like that. So I used to muck around at home, and also Dad's like not farm vehicles, but like dumper trucks, because he's a builder, got his own building company. So I used to help and things like that, and then went to Santa Pod. Went to Santa Pod many years ago when I think I was about 14. My dad's friend owned a RX-7. Went there, saw there was some drift taxis, got in the passenger seat, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to do this. And then got my Skyline when I was 21. Taught myself how to drift just before that in a Suzuki Vitara on muddy fields. Bit different.
That is a bit different.
I loved off-roading at the time. And then, yeah, got my Skyline when I was 21. Went back to Santa Pod for the Drift What You Brung days, because there wasn't very much else I could have done really. And then, yeah, I've gone from strength to strength with that really.
So completely self-taught.
Yeah, and obviously meeting people and watching videos and things like that, and getting people to jump in my car. And I'm a very visual kind of a person, so I would sit next to somebody and watch them drift as well. So, yeah.
Now, and you compete now, don't you, as well?
Yes, yeah. So I took myself, I did one event in the UK, didn't enjoy that, so decided to take myself over to Europe to play with the big boys, really. And then, yeah, I did my first year, which I finally kind of went, okay, I'm pretty good at this, so I'm not too bad. So yeah, it went on from there, and strength to strength from there.
Ah, okay. And yourself, so how did you get into spinning and stunt driving? And
Well, my dad made me do it.
he made you do it.
I love this story.
So, funny story, little background on spinning. So, back in apartheid, spinning was a gangster sport. So, if one of your gangster friends would die, you would steal the white man's car, go and spin it, and then burn it after. And my dad was a bit of a naughty person. He was one of those guys back before he met my mom. And he met my mom, left everything behind, and then found out in 2014 that spinning is now a legal sport according to Motorsport South Africa. And he thought, okay, I loved it. My kids should love it. And then he made me do it. He told me to get into the car and do it.
And did it take you a long time to adjust and get those skills, or?
So it took me about 25 minutes to learn how to spin. And then with my stunting, I was basically pushed out of a moving car.
This is
It's so
brilliant.
great.
Yeah, so good.
So some of the older guys in the spinning came to me. They're like, "We want to go spinning with you." I was in the spinning industry for about a month, and while we were spinning, they decided to push me out of the car while it's moving, and that's how we got into.
Did you know that was going to happen, or?
No, I just kept running. I was like, "I'm not gonna fall. Just keep moving."
Blimey. Remind me never to get in a car with you. And about yourself and motorbikes and cars?
Well, I think I would definitely say I'm the black sheep in the family, or the rebel, depends on how you say it. I come from a family that has zero interest in any type of motorsport, and it's quite the opposite, actually. They're against it, I would say, still to this day. So, being young, around 16, I had to get my first bike myself, and they did not like that. They were trying to make me stop every single time. That didn't work. Had them put chain locks on my bikes, and they were trying to sell it, and I didn't really have any friends to help me with this either. So I had to just pretty much YouTube how do you ride a motorcycle, and that's how I got started with everything. And I was shit at it for a really long time. Everything took me way longer than it should. If I learned something, I learned it the wrong way, so I had to restart every single time. So I think the first few years of my riding was just getting into it first, and then I understood how much I really like this and how I want to progress in the sport and push it forward, I guess.
And what do your family think now? Now you're a monster athlete
Yeah,
and making a living from it.
I kind of like to give them like a little slap for always not believing in me with this, and I think they somehow see today that I've come far on doing what I love pretty much. But I think that they would still hope for me to get like a proper office job. But I have two sisters for that, so I'm still gonna do my own thing.
Well,
They can be the office.
We're in an office at the minute.
Yeah, look at me now.
It's not a problem. And do you know where that spark come from you? Because like, a lot of us, like me, my motoring spark come from my dad.
Yeah.
But if you say your family weren't really ever into that, was there a moment that you saw on TV or you saw?
Not really. I've always been like a boy girl, not super girly, and I think stuff that was like involved with speed or stuff that you're not supposed to do, that was always interesting me. And I think you're not supposed to ride. If you would ask someone walking on the street, I'm sure they would say you're not supposed to ride a motorcycle on one wheel.
No,
So
that's why it's got two.
Yeah.
So, okay. For next year, yourself, what are your plans? Have you got any ambitions, what you want to achieve?
Well, drag racing is always about being the fastest. So we obviously want to get, we still have the European record, but we want to double it up and get a better one. We also want to get back the record for the quickest run. So this is obvious like one main goal, and then probably heading over to the US and play with the big players.
So what are those figures? What is that number you want to hit?
Well, we had a pretty strong one with 381, so it would probably be like a run in the 377 seconds, and miles per hour would be cool to get to the 325. It would be pretty cool.
And you're talking about like minuscule amounts of time. When you're in that drag car and you're pulling that kind of speed, do you know when you've hit that? Do you think, oh, that was a good run, or is it literally get out and look at the clock?
Oh no, you can feel it. It's like, this is what I'm always saying, like people ask me, do you steer? I'm steering the whole time, because you have to feel those cars on your butt, and you feel exactly if the car is pushing or if it just stops somewhere, and if it's starting to drift one side. So you're feeling if it was a good run. Obviously, I don't know if it was like this record run, but I know, okay, it was one in the 3.8s or in the 3.9s, or it was a slow one. Also, I mean, if the engine is breaking apart and we have the explosions, we know it's a shit run.
And how do you get to that? Is it a progressive thing? Because, like, for instance, I'd kill myself if I jumped in your car. So do you have to build up to it? And how do you? I've been in one like a double seater top. Well, I don't know if it was top fuel, but it was quick, and you couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't move. So, how the first time you drove a 10,000 horsepower dragster? What was that like? How were the nerves?
Well, you build it up. You kind of build it up. So I was running a car which only had 5,000 horsepower, which is only half of the top. Yeah, only half of the top fuel car. So the thing is, why I jumped in the top fuel car was because my father. We had 2 top fuel cars, and he said that we don't go to invest the money that I had from sponsorships in a slower car. So he just said, let's just jump into the top fuel car. So he kind of like, it was basically a decision because we had those 2 cars. Usually you would take another way to get into the top fuel car. You would take yourself more time to get into it and have more seat time. So the only thing you do is like you start with slow or like shorter runs, like only to the 60 foot and then to 300 feet, and then you build it up to 2,000 feet. But as soon as you race, there is only one way, and pushing the pedal all the way down and going fast.
And has it ever sort of gone slightly wrong?
Well, yeah, there were like 2 times. They were pretty scary when I went really sideways. But it's. I mean, yeah.
We need Tessa to help you.
Yeah. We had a lot of engine explosions, which is basically daily business for us since we drive with nitromethane. It's. I'm always saying like it looks very dangerous, but most of the time nothing happens to the driver. You just feel some ache in your back and stuff. So luckily nothing serious ever happened to me, and I hope it goes that way.
Okay, so what do you plan to do in 2023?
It's a tough one because there's a lot going on behind the scenes that I can't really talk about at the moment, but it's going to take me further afield.
Okay.
One of my projects anyway, and I've got a few things bubbling away at the moment in regards to new things. So it's very cryptic, I know, not very helpful, but
Any more new builds, or are you going to carry on with the Skyline, or have you got anything in the background?
oh, I just don't want to say it.
Right. That means yes then.
Maybe.
So watch this space, basically.
Indeed, yeah. Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty boring from me, sorry.
No, that's all right. And how does 2023 look for yourself?
Quite busy.
Quite busy.
A lot going on. There's a lot in the pipelines. Don't know, but my mom probably knows. So I'll find out from her soon.
Is she your manager?
Something like that.
Okay. And
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna push myself out of the comfort zone this upcoming season. I'm working on something that is so far off from what I'm usually doing, and as Tessa, I can't say really much about that, but it's gonna be such a cool thing. And if I manage to do this, which I believe I will, this will definitely be my biggest achievement in my career.
oh, fantastic. So again, watch this space.
Yeah.
So like fast cars, more. It's sort of like a car culture thing. So it's about modifying cars and the whole scene in its general. So what about your road cars? Do you have something quick to drive, or why are you laughing?
Sorry. No, you'll get to me in a bit.
Okay.
I'm driving a BMW M2.
Oh,
Not
amazing.
modified. It's just original because
They're good as they are.
We had some talk.
They're good as they are.
Yeah, I want to bring them. Actually, I want to bring the car to the racetrack next year. This is why
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah, you should.
So, yeah. So, but it's not modified. It's just original, because like it's German car culture.
Is it
The BMW is just legend in Germany,
Yeah.
Switzerland, like I think everywhere. It's just
Put a little map on it though, couldn't you?
Is it the M2 competition?
yeah. No, it's not a competition.
Oh.
No. I have to talk to
Don't
my
know.
sponsors first. Competition was too expensive. No, but I love the car, so it's my daily ride.
Yeah. That's all right. I'm sure we'll convert you by the end of this video. So,
So
Tessa?
I have a Range Rover L322
Oh.
that I drive on the road. She's basically my workhorse, that if I can't use the van, and I just have the trailer in the car, that I don't need to take many wheels and stuff with me. Just load up the back and away we go, really. And yeah, and it's a nice drive. It's automatic, and because of the things that I do the rest of the time,
Yeah.
I'm always tinkering with either the drift car or my other cars that I have. So yeah.
That other project you're doing at the minute.
Yeah. Oh, and also the Drift Academy cars, and yeah, I've got 350Zs coming out my ears, that kind of stuff.
right.
So yeah.
And so you've got your stunt car or your spinning car's a BMW.
Well, my spinning car is a BMW, my drift car is a BMW. But fuel in South Africa is ridiculously expensive, so I drive a VW, fuel efficient,
Yeah.
very slow. I don't drive myself, somebody's always driving me, so.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, I drive for a living, so I
Yeah.
as well get somebody to drive me around.
I thought you were going to
Amazing.
say you drive an EV for a minute, but. And
I think I would say I've had my fun share of cars being younger. But I always notice myself getting stuck with cars because I really like it, and I'm trying to keep myself away from that to focus more on the bike soon. But I always ended up going back to trucks, like big trucks, lifted, American style.
and you like the old school stuff you were saying earlier.
Yeah, square bodies. Yeah. That's my thing.
Yeah. Okay. And then sort of going back to yourselves and being females in which I guess are predominantly a male-dominated sports. How have you found that? Do you find, what are people like? Are they quite open to it, and or have you found any resistance?
Well, I never felt some kind of any resistance. Everybody was so excited seeing me to step into the car. I had some, or I still have some massive footsteps from my father in front of me, so it was easy for me to get into the sports, which I'm super thankful for my dad. And since I proved that I can drive and that it's not only the name that I have, the people are like 100% supporting me. I think this is like the really cool thing in drag racing. You're still friends with each other.
Yeah.
So as soon as we're sitting inside the car, we're competitors. And as soon as we're getting out of the car, of the finish line, we're just friends.
Yeah.
So we're helping each other and we're just happy for the run of the other guy, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, no, I never had any struggle with being a girl. Not after proving that I can drive.
No. Okay.
A bit the same, actually. The same as India.
Yeah.
I would say first starting out, it was a bit of a, because I have an R33 Skyline that's not really the normal car for a girl. So, and it was more people, even at a petrol station, they'd be filling up my car and it'd be like, you shouldn't be driving this. And it was like, nah. And usually the words of, I think you don't understand. I'm trying to be good and not swear. So I'm trying to be not naughty. But yeah, otherwise on track, I think because I'm the happy-go-lucky kind of person, I always want to talk to people. And I really love, obviously, the learning side of things as well. I think that kind of puts people at ease because you're not just there to look pretty and stand next to a car. You're actually there to drive the car how it should be. And yeah, I've proved myself in that respect.
And like in a drifting paddock, it's quite similar to what
Exactly,
you said, isn't
yeah.
it? Everyone sort of gets out and
jumps
helps
in and yeah, it's lovely.
break apart you, and if you can all muck
Exactly,
in and get you out there. So
for sure.
yes.
Yeah.
So, for me, it's the same. Till today, like wherever I go, people always think it's my dad or my brother driving the car. And when I tell them, it's me like, no, women aren't supposed to do that. And then I get in and I prove you wrong. So
Yeah.
that's just how it goes. I mean, for women in the motorsport industry, it's really tough, but we put our best foot forward and just keep moving on.
Yeah. Okay. And Sara?
Well, I'm going to have to agree to everyone else. I don't know if you guys noticed, but everyone had to actually say that once they've proven themselves to be good enough, then you're accepted. And I think that was a big part of it for me also, that you actually have the need to prove yourself. And if you compare with other guys, then you're already accepted, either if you're good or bad. So I think it's been like a lot to... I've never seen it as a bad thing. I think that instead it motivated me to actually like do really, really good, because some people were impressed and some people were pissed off by you doing super good. And I think that was pretty much the fuel to my success also.
Brilliant. So Fastcar is also does quite a few events throughout the UK. A lot of them are based at Silverstone.
Yeah.
So what are the chances? Obviously, I'm not sure. a Top Fuels drag still work around Silverstone?
We can make everything work out.
Okay.
Start her up.
Yeah.
It's a good
Well, yeah.
thing.
Yeah. It's just listening to those things is crazy, isn't it? Your whole body goes.
Yeah.
Um,
Incredible.
but would you like to come over to the UK and maybe show off at one of our events?
Sure.
Sure.
I'm sort of tying you into a contract now.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I'll get Monster to pay.
Yeah. No worries.
So yeah. What you enjoying your time in the UK? What have you found different, or?
We haven't really been here for long.
No, you got.
But I was here earlier this year also, and it was cool. It was hectic to see, like, especially for me to see the bike life scene here. It's way different from what I'm used to. It's really, really hectic, but I think it's cool, like going to different places, because I do travel a lot. So everywhere you go, people are still like a family and they're welcoming you, but it's such a different culture everywhere. And
Yeah.
I think it's cool to get like a picture of all of it.
Yeah.
It's super cold, yeah.
Cold.
It's just cold and rainy. I love it. I can stay indoors, but it's super cold.
It's not too bad in the summer.
No.
I should visit.
So you'll have to come over in the summer
Yeah.
and do an event.
Well, that's handy, because that's when the events are, really.
Yeah, that's it. So you two probably don't find it too cold, do you?
Yeah, it's colder in Sweden, but it's pretty similar right now.
Yeah.
It's also colder in Switzerland, but it's not that rainy and grey. Like when you get out in the morning, like, wow, it's grey. Thank you. No, so we have a lot of sun, and like Switzerland, anyways, like with the mountains and everything.
Oh,
So it's a pretty cool country.
lovely.
So you're okay with the rainy or cold weather as long as it means that there is somewhere snow to go skiing.
Okay. So if one of you now could swap your day job for someone else's day job around this table, whose would it be? So what car would you like to jump in, or a bike, or what bike would you? So is that a good question or a hard one? Or you're not sure?
Well, are you looking at me to answer?
Yeah, I was just thinking I'm giving it over. Because I can't decide.
It's a tough one, because I would love to have the feeling of going super fast in a straight line, because that's nothing what I've ever felt before. But then when I was younger, my dad was into his bikes, but I never was allowed to do anything like that. And I would love to go trial riding or stunt
I
riding.
think we should arrange that.
Yeah.
Learn me how to drift, and I'm
There
going to
you
learn you how to do a wheelie.
There you go. Yes.
That's a cool video, isn't it?
Yes.
I think I would also go with the motorcycles, because I'm driving motorcycles due to my dad's business. So I have an Indian.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I would love to do this, obviously, and because I'm not really normal in my head when it comes down to crazy things, I would love to do the spinning.
Yeah.
And I, like just having the feeling of jumping out of a driving car and like
Exactly.
am I going to survive this, or am I dead after? But let's give it a shot.
So yeah, we can arrange.
So I would definitely be up for this and the
mean to.
wheelie. Yeah.
Look at you.
Definitely the motorcycles. Like I've always
Well,
wanted
looks
to
like we
learn.
all have to go riding one then.
Yeah.
I think we should all sort out something that everybody comes drifting. Yeah, my drift school or something like that, and then we come to each other's countries. Yes.
Yes, that sounds like quite a
Yes.
good series, doesn't it?
Yes.
Did you guys hear this?
Yeah, exactly. Monster, take note, take note.
Writing it down.
Sorry.
Plans for 2024 and 2023.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Do it.
So later on, as I understand, you're going go-karting.
Yeah.
Is it going to get competitive out there?
Definitely.
I just wanted to say, I think it's going to be easy, just spending time with each other.
No.
No.
I'm probably not gonna be so good at it. I think these girls have more experience behind the wheel than I do.
No, but you're very light, and I reckon you're even nuttier than us because you go on your back wheel without a cage round you, whereas we've got a box round us. So
Yeah.
We'll see. I think time will tell.
we will
I'm,
see.
I'm probably just being trolling around on the car. Like, my dad is having a go-kart, so I'm always pushing it that hard on the straight lines. When I go to a corner, it's just like spinning around. So I won't be the fastest, but I will enjoy myself like a smart.
You can be the fastest in a straight line.
Yeah, no, but not with a
can
go-kart.
keep that.
I'm too big and.
Oh.
Well, I'm sort of out of questions now. I think we might be out of time as well. So,
Oh.
is there anything you want to ask me, or is there anything else you'd like to talk about or mention?
What would you choose if you got to choose one of the sports that we do?
Oh,
Oh.
Oh.
got to be diplomatic here, haven't I?
No. Say it how it is.
It'd probably be top fuel.
Yeah.
Just for the,
Top fuel for
I've sort of experienced it on a very small scale before, but it's just ridiculous how quick those things go. So yeah, I probably wouldn't mind experiencing that. But
Yeah.
I respect what all of you do. I think if I got on a motorbike, I had my first motorbike when I was 4, a Honda QR50, I think it was.
Amazing.
And then a PW80. Don't know if this is foreign talk to you or not. And then a Kawasaki KX80. But then my dad wanted me to get it out my system before I got on the road.
Yeah.
And yeah, I hurt myself quite a few times, so I'm scared of motorbikes now. And drifting, I always feel like I'm one of those people that think, oh yeah, that looks easy and I could do it. And I'm not too bad, but I think getting up to your level, I make myself look a bit stupid. So, and spinning, I've never tried, so maybe that's something else.
Yeah.
It's easy.
But I wouldn't do the jumping out of a car bit.
You have to. It's part of.
You have to.
Yeah, you have to.
So it's not spinning unless you jump out of the
She
car.
will just kick you out of the car.
Yeah,
Oh.
no
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah.
Get out of my car.
Definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoy the rest of your time in the UK. I know, Tessa, you're not going anywhere.
No.
So, but yeah, it's been a pleasure. So it's been really nice to meet you. I hope you see you at events this year, and I look forward to following your
really fun.
Instagram accounts and seeing what you get up to. And hopefully you all have a brilliant and successful year in 2023.